Hey guys, my name is Haley, and today I'm planning on starting a new series-ish type thing on this channel, and that's going to be a book unhaul series. But I'm gonna categorize them by genre, so we're gonna see how this goes. I have like these giant unhaul piles that I haven't been able to get rid of yet, but I just found out how to donate books to my library, so I might be doing that with these since I have not been going to half-price books. But first, as is probably no surprise to anyone who's been on my channel for a little while, we're gonna do an unhaul of contemporary books that I either read and didn't like, read and liked but will never reread, which happens a lot with contemporary for me, or books that I started to read and DNF'd because I didn't really like them and didn't think I would give them a very high rating, or just ones that I think there might even be a couple that I just never read and no longer have any interest in, so we're just gonna blow through a bunch of them. I'm just realizing some of these are even middle grade, so we'll start with the middle grade, and that is Dunk by David Lubar. I actually really like this author. I've been reading him since middle school, and I saw him at some sort of book event in middle school, which I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, but this is a little like, either it could be considered middle grade or more like a young YA, and I enjoy it. It's about like this boy who gets a job on a boardwalk as someone who works at the dunk tank, and it's really good, cute little story. I think it would be really great for the target audience, which I would say like 12 to like 15-ish. Next up is The Rosie Project by Graham Sinsian. I read this. I did like it. Like, I liked it enough to tap parts of it, but I'm never gonna reread it. It's about this guy who I believe is on the spectrum, and he tries to find like a scientific, mathematical, like correct girlfriend for him and his personality type. And it's really cute. I liked it a lot, but again, never gonna reread. Next up we have the If I Stay duology by Gail Forman, which is If I Stay and Where She Went. So I actually really liked this duology when I read it, but it's just another thing. I know I'm never gonna reread them. I like Gail Forman, like I like what I've read from her, but she's probably not the type of author where I'm gonna buy her books. If I want to read them and I'm in the mood for her books, I'll probably get them from the library. Next up is a controversial one for a lot of people, and a book I actually really like, but again, I'm not gonna reread, and that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I don't think there's anything about this book that hasn't been said yet. Clearly I liked it when I read it, which was like over 2 years ago probably. But yeah, I really liked the movie. The movie was cute. Next up is a more recent one, and this is actually an ARC, so I don't even think I could sell this if I tried, but I have City of Saints and Thieves by Natalie C. Anderson. This is a really good book if you're looking for more diverse like areas, because this is set in the Republic of Congo in South Africa, and the audiobook is excellent. So if you are going to read this, I would definitely recommend the audio. Here's another controversial one, and that is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I tried to read this. I got like 4 chapters in, and I just didn't like the writing style, and I didn't like either of the characters or the perspectives, so I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it. So this went into the unhaul pile, which is a shame because it's a very pretty book, and I've heard really good things about it and that it'll make you cry, but I just did not care. And then we have some Morgan Matson. I am keeping one of her books. I'm keeping Amy Rogers' Epic Detour because that's my favorite of hers. But I'm going to get rid of Second Chance Summer. I really actually like this book a lot. I just don't think I'll end up rereading it, but I do recommend this one. Like, I'm not getting rid of this one because I hate it or anything. And then Since You've Been Gone, also by Morgan Matson. And I read this, I want to say 3 years ago, and I didn't even like it then, so I imagine if I reread it now, I'm probably dislike it even more. But I'm sure there are some people that will be very excited to see these in the little free libraries around our city. Next up is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I really liked this when I read it the first time. I even tabbed it. This has my favorite trope, which is books set over the course of like 24 hours. I love that trope. They're usually in contemporaries though, and then I never have the desire to read them ever again. And I know my friend Oshina just read this for the first time recently, and she pointed out a lot of stuff that I didn't even remember, because I read this probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was just stuff that I know if I read it now, I would not like it. So I decided to unhaul it. Next up is 13 Reasons Why, another book that I really liked when I read it like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not gonna reread it. I know there's a ton of controversy surrounding it now because of the TV show and everything. So yeah, I did enjoy it. I don't hate it. I don't agree with all of the controversy, but I'm also not gonna reread it. So we're gonna unhaul it and make room on my shelves. Next up is The Serpent King. This is one of those books that I read the first couple chapters, didn't like any of the characters, and immediately DNF'd it. That was really depressing because I've heard really good things about this, but I think it's just not my type of story. I was a little iffy on how like faith and church and stuff are handled in this, and I wasn't sure how that was going to be handled, so I just decided to not go there because that's one of my biggest pet peeves in books is if it's not handled well. But yeah, sorry. I know a lot of people love this book. Next is one of the books that I've had probably the longest of any of the books on my shelf, except maybe like the Harry Potter ones, because I read this either middle school or high school, so like going on 8-9 years ago. And that is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I've read this multiple times. I really liked it every time I read it, but I don't think I will reread it again. Like, it's not the genre that I read anymore. This cover kind of creeps me out. I know there's a movie that came out, so if I ever want to re-experience the story, I might watch the movie, but this is a chunky book, and I'm not sure if I would like it as much as I used to if I read it now, so Autopilot is. And then last of the contemporaries is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I've actually unhauled all of the Rainbow Rowell books that I owned. I've read almost all of her books. Like, I've read all of them except for Carry On, and I think she's just not an author that's like sticks with me. Like, I unhauled Eleanor and Park, I unhauled Fangirl, I unhauled, actually I don't think I ever even owned Attachments, but I think that was my favorite of hers. And I like the idea of this because it has more of a magical realism feel to it, but I'm not gonna reread it. I don't know why I own it, so yeah, it's gotta go. So yeah, these are all of the contemporaries that I'm unhauling today. I'm sure there will be more when I do another Call of the Contemporary shelf, but thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.